Hello friends, Jay the Silent Cartographer here, and today I would like to do a daily map that I might actually use. This is going to be the dungeon encounter, the mine encounter, that I'm going to be running for not only the Bandits in the Mine of Aramore published adventure that we're in the middle of writing on the channel, but also kind of the mock-up that I'm going to be using in my first session. Now, of course, this is going to be the template for the one that is packaged in the Bandits in the Mines of Aramore. Whereas the one that's played in my game is probably going to be a rough draft copy. So the first thing was to get the dimensions right, and I'm a fan of this kind of long, thin map. And the reason for that is because I can immediately go to the... I've come to the generator, and I did not want to do that, but that's okay. So I can go to the terrain brush, and then maybe I can switch this to grass. Aha! Yes, I can. Look at that. And so we've got dirt on the bottom, we've got grass above it. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to paint the cave entrance. Yes, we are. Paint the cave entrance. We're just going to kind of do something like this. Need a little bit of room for the heroes to do battle outside. And then we're going to go in with the design tool, with the wall tool. And we're going to find a wall that kind of looks cavey. Kind of looks cavey, and I think this one fits the bill. We're going to turn snapping off because we don't want this to snap. We instead want to the best of our limited artistic creative abilities, we want to build something that, for lack of a better term, makes sense with the shape that we've created. And so in this case, the shape that I've created is this kind of long running wall area, and so maybe the people of this town, the people of Aramore, have gone ahead and they've built a wall to kind of solidify against the what's this called? Against the my brain is short-circuiting right now. To solidify against like the elements and against monsters, and to just kind of make it so that cave-ins and collapses are much less likely to happen. Now I do want to kind of delete these middle sections here, and then I'm wondering if there's a way to like take this section out completely, and I'm not sure if there is, if I'm being honest. Yeah, that's a good question. Is there a way to just straight up remove these points here? Because that would be exactly what I want to do. And yes, I could delete the points, but then if I delete the point, it just creates a straight line instead of the opening that we want to create instead. But you know, maybe this works. Maybe we take this and we make it flush, we make it straight. And maybe what we're doing here is we're giving the illusion. If we go back to our terrain brush here, we shrink that down, and we go to our dirt terrain here that we have underneath, and we just kind of bring that back. We're giving the illusion that there's an entrance to the cave that's kind of inset over here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our wall tool, and we're going to do the exact same thing over here. We're going to kind of just give the illusion that inset into this mountain is a second entrance to this mine. Maybe it goes to a completely different shaft. And we're going to go to our terrain brush, we're going to go to our grass brush, and we're going to move that grass into the recesses here. And so now we have the outside wall of our mine, and we have it going all the way up into here. So now what we have to do is we have to go to the wall tool, the building tool. Because if we build something like that, it should have the same wall that we have going over here, which is this one, I believe. But I want to create almost like they do with the dungeon generator, and I'm not sure if that's... I think the way that we do that is with the cave brush. Yes, it is. So I think this will look great, or this will work great for us. That's going to be a little bit janky with the wall. We're going to make the wall color. We're going to take the color that it already is, and we're just going to chunk it significantly darker. Or actually, you know what we can do is we can take the eyedropper tool. We can select the color from the wall outside. So now this, when you paint it, is significantly darker. That's not what we want. Okay, so let's try that again. Try to grab this, try to grab that. That looks much more reasonable. Much more reasonable. And so what we are going to do is we are going to start tracing out our thing. And just for now, let's make this this ground color a little bit lighter so we can really see what's going on. I don't know if there's a way to change it later, so maybe I should actually keep it somewhere in between, maybe something like that. I don't think that looks unreasonable, although I do think it should be a little bit darker. If that's the default color, let's try one more time. Just kind of lighten it up a little bit. I just want to be able to see it on the dirt background, and for the players to be able to see it on the dirt background as well. I'm going to shrink the brush real small for this first little line of it. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to start painting. I'm just going to get rid of this here, and then that's a nice starting point over here. And then this area over here, I already know for a fact is going to be collapsed. This is going to be caved in, but we will get to this a little bit later. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to leave that just like that. Actually, you know what we can do is we can really make it seem like it's in a bad way by adding. Doesn't that just look like a caved in mine shaft over there? Okay, cool. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab this brush. We're going to go up here. So now we have to kind of loosely come up with the idea for a dungeon. Pretty wide entrance into the dungeon or into the mine. And the way that mines would work, at least in my idea of how mines would work, is that this would open into kind of a little chamber. So we're gonna make a square chamber here. It's fairly sizable, and this chamber is where all the miners would eat, would drink, would live for the most part. If they weren't going all the way back to town, maybe there would be some cots here. And we're gonna shrink this down to the second smallest brush. Maybe even make it. Yeah, no, second smallest works. We'll hold Alt, and we are going to just make a couple of little support pillars here. Give the illusion that they've left some rock to keep everything stable. And so from here, now we have the actual mine shafts. And we'll say, for the sake of this, that this mine shaft that goes up this way. And then we've got another mine shaft that goes off this way. And then we've got a third one that kind of goes winding off like that. And so my idea for this is that one direction had the nobleman's daughter captured. This is the prison room, and I think that we're going to make it off of this little offshoot here. So at the end of this freshly dug, not secured tunnel, there's going to be a room that is far too big, because remember, each one of these squares is around 5 feet. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some erasing here just to make this a little bit more realistic. And this storage room, or this little newly dug out chamber, is going to be no more than this right here. And so here, the players will encounter the damsel in distress, the so-called damsel in distress. Sorry for the spoiler, but she does in fact betray the party. She's not actually a damsel, nor is she actually in distress. But she has found, or at least she has told the players that she has found, a secret entrance, or a secret exit, and only she knows the way to get to it. And the way that this secret entrance will work is it'll be like this. And so, and then there will be another one that'll go like this, that'll link up with this down here, with the intention that this was once a part of this mine shaft here, but of course if the party goes that way, they'll find that the terrain is impassable terrain, and that they have been duped, and that this is not a way out. This is all collapsed, so we can go ahead and make that look nice and collapsed just like that, just by adding some deletes in strategic locations. So we can open this up a little bit so that a person could reasonably squeeze through with all their might. They could squeeze through this little chamber going down here. And so the way that this encounter is going to work in my head is that there are going to be bandit guards patrolling outside. They beat the bandits outside. They go inside. The main bandit force is kind of chilling out near this area. This is where they're going to find the guy with the key, or maybe there's going to be a separate guard in the room with the prisoner. I'll think of that when I do the encounter design video. But we have the people here who are like the infantry, the bandit infantry, and then you have the girl who is their prisoner, who is their ransom, who of course is not actually a prisoner. And then we have a secret tunnel leading out behind a rock. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna actually separate this completely, so that we can hide it and it doesn't look unnatural to the player's ever vigilant eyes, that there would be a secret passage here. And so players come in, they fight the bandits, they gather the key. In the distance up here, they hear laughing and maybe sparring or something. And then in this room, maybe they hear crying. And so they know, oh, of course, the nobleman's daughter is inside of this room. So they go into this room, they fight the guard, they release the girl says, hey, the guard has the key. He also had a secret passage that leads to outside, I promise. If you give me his key, I will unlock it for you. I've seen how they do it, I know the trick to it. And so she unlocks the secret passage right here, and then she insists, like, everybody go, like, you guys get in there and I'll make sure that they can't follow us. And, I mean, that should be suspicious to the players, but if it's not, well, she is going to then lock it behind them. She is going to lock that behind them, and she is going to disappear. And it could be a fairly high DC for a thief to get back through if they have the lock-picking tools to do so. Or they could choose to press on through the rest of the dungeon. Should they choose to go down this way, maybe there's a trap that has been laid for them inside of this narrow hallway. And that trap will be fairly nasty, and they will eventually realize it's a dead end. That going out towards the second exit to the mineshaft was folly, and that this is in fact a dead end. But we're going to come back to this later. I'm just going to make a mark on the map here, like an S for secret, so I'll remember. Because we are going to do something down here in a bit, but right now what we have to do is we have to make the main bandit lair. This is going to be the boss room, where where our great heroes are going to face down the bandits, the bandit leader, in all of his fury and power. We're gonna actually go ahead and we're gonna make this kind of curve into this this larger room like this, and then have it go like that. Yeah, I think that something like that works. Maybe even blow this out a little bit more, just like that, and then make it kind of go up and around, just like that. That looks like a pretty cool little boss room. And then maybe we can even, for flavor, add a couple of busted out mine shafts over here that just kind of reiterates the point that they are in a broken down mine shaft. Like, there's a mine shaft over here that's completely collapsed, and maybe there's another one going up here that is worse for wear. Just like that. Just like that, we have the basic outline of our mines done. Everything that we kind of need out of the way. And so now we're going to start... oh yeah, what was the secret? The secret is going to be that the party, with a fairly high DC, if they had gone to this area first, this side area here first, would be able to find a way through. The party would be able to find a thin little way that would lead from the second entrance into the secret tunnel, which would either lead to the bandit leader or would lead to the girl. And so that could be two eventualities that the party can go through. I want to put in a redundancy to reward their creativity if they decide to go that way. And so now we're going to go back to our, well, actually, we're going to save really quickly. We're going to go day 15. Hard to believe it's been 15 days. We're going to go menu, save as. We're going to go day 15 back up because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on this map and I don't want it to go to disappear. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our wall tool. We are going to add some falsified depth to this. And you know, I'm realizing that we're having a problem here where oh, I'm on edit points mode. I was like, why can't I draw this? So we're gonna take our thing here, we're gonna turn snap to grid off, and we are just going to go ahead and we're gonna make a little bit of a jagged wall here, and that doesn't quite look right. What I'm looking for is a way to kind of show that this area down here is lower than this area up here. And this might be something I do in Roll20 when I import this in. But what I'm thinking is that maybe the bandit leader has some hounds, and he has put these hounds below the exit to this tunnel. So as the party comes in, he can laugh maniacally as the hounds gnaw on the faces of the people, and maybe the girl will have come around and she will cast Hold Person on whoever comes out of there first, sending them tumbling into the dogs and setting up a very dire situation for the players to escape from. Nope. Puppy's running around. Hi, puppy. So, let's go over what else we need here. And I think at this point we're going to go into the Objects tab. We're going to start with... See, the thing about a fire is that fires create a lot of smoke. And so they probably would either build chimneys into the room, which would go up the mountain and out, but these guys don't really want to be caught, so they wouldn't want the mountain spewing fire. So instead, they're probably going to have their big bonfire, which is a 15-foot pit, which is huge, right outside on the front lawn. Maybe I should have gone with the one with the cookware, but that would be some ridiculously sized cookware. We're gonna grab some tents. How big would a tent be? Probably around here. Probably around 10 feet by 10 feet. 10 feet by 10 feet. Haha. And we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna lay down some bandit tents. We've got some thinner tents here, which are gonna be 5 by 10. Enough for a single person to sleep in. And this will be the point where if the party comes upon this area, then there's two things that have happened beforehand. Either one, some of the bandits got away and they were able to come here and they were able to inform these bandits that, hey, there are people coming, in which case these tents are probably unoccupied. There's probably sentries posted outside and a patrol going around, but nobody's going to be casually living here. They're all going to be here and they're going to be ready for a fight. However, if they were able to sneak up on the bandits, wipe out their forward element and immediately ride here, they would probably be caught unawares, and they would probably have the majority of their force out here, less in here, only one guard in here, and then the bandit chief would very quickly have to put his plan together. And then who knows, maybe there's a chance that if a rogue or something sneaks inside of this main room, they'll find the noble's daughter conversing with the bandits, and it's not until one of the bandits outside comes in and says, "The heroes are coming," that they employ their plan to put the lady in civilian clothes and chains and put her in her cage. She's just one of the bandits, so she's palling around with them while they're working on their devious plans. And so, well, let's go to the scatter tool. Let's grab some boulders, because there would be boulders. There will be boulders. And we'll put 1 to 1.5 scale on the outside here, and we're just going to go ahead. We're going to make this area seem like it's nice and rocky, because it's a mine, and mines would be fairly rocky, if you'd believe me. It's a thing that mines are wont to do, be rocky. So we're just going to add some rock features. We don't want to make these bandits seem stupid. They've picked an area that's easily defended, and they've done this intentionally. And so we want to give the players ways to get around, but we also at the same time want to give the bandits lots of room, so that whatever plans that they have devised are seem well thought out. These guys are not stupid. They have a plan. The heroes are just fortunate enough to have figured that plan out, or in this case, been strong enough to force the bandits' hand. So we've got our rocks down. Very good. Now we are going to go to the little cobblestone here that I kind of like to use for pathing. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to layer that down. We're going to move this to like 0.75 over here. So we've got just some small stones here. Because you'd imagine that if these miners had been working here for a very long time, they would have cobbled paths, and that they would have trotted these paths down with horses, with carriages, in an attempt to make it easier to unload and to load all of that good into there and bring it back to the town so that they could sell it or pack it up to the lords, what have you. So we've got this cobble here that will work as our pathway, cobbled path. We are then going to go all the way down to the save button, because it's important to save often. We are going to go all the way down, past the blood, past the ship parts, past the fountains, past the ladders, past the stairs, to the ferns that I use for literally everything. We're going to go ahead and we're going to move this from a scale of not 15, because that would be bad, not 75, because that would also be bad, but 1 to 1. We just want this to be, want these to be the default size. Let's shuffle it to get the scale correct, and we just want to go ahead and start putting down some grass, because this is, if you recall, an abandoned mine. This mine has been forsaken, as it were, because of the collapse. They don't even know, the townspeople don't even know that this mine is still relatively serviceable. And so for the last little while, they've been under the assumption that the mines have all collapsed. And the ones that they've been digging out have been the ones low and close to the town, as that would be the easiest. Little do they know that the daughter of the Lord has found a way to fix the mines, but instead of doing so to save the town, she has done so to bring its ruin. So that she can make a power grab, and so that she can be the ruler that her father cannot, that she knows her father cannot be. For her father is a fool, a dreamer and a fool. And so her people need her to take control. And how does she do it? She sells her town to bandits, because she is not perfect. She is an imperfect heroine in her own story. She is an imperfect villain in ours. Because her idea is just. It's a sound idea. She has been counted out by all who stand around her as somebody who needs protection, as somebody who's not good enough, not like her brother the knight. Her, a measly scholar, could never hope to rule the town as effectively as you would need to make it bustling and booming again. But her father sold her brother as a sword to another noble lord to save his debts. This same father has failed to open the mines for her people, and has told her that she has no business assisting in what politics he has done, and that she should stick to her studies, so one day she may move to the capital, marry into a fantastic noble family, and bring wealth through those means. Because that is the type of place the Dharma Republic is. So, with that being said, she's frustrated, so she steals a magical relic from her father, from when they were one of the great noble houses, and she uses it to begin to open the mines, with her idea being that if she can somehow sell the mines to bandits, if she can convince bandits to come and pillage the town, that she will give them great wealth and great money to do so, that the bandits will then leave, leaving her with the ruined town where she can then swoop in and be the hero and save the town. So I'm really liking the way this is looking. If we forgive my massive monologue, we're going to grab some bushes. We're going to go over here, grab some big fluffy bushes. Once we get down to the bushes, promise they're somewhere. They're around here somewhere. Here. We're going to do this. We're going to scale this down, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to make some bushes. We don't want too many bushes here because we want the players to be able to move freely about the cabin. If you've noticed, I've been leaving very clear paths of action through the camp. You can see, okay, well, the bandits would probably be standing around the camp. You can see where the sentries would stand. If they want to get over their camp, they've trotted this little path through. Of course, the area directly in front of all the tents, including the one over here, is cleared. And then, of course, over to the other mine shaft is also cleared. And so we're saying to the players that they have room to improvise. And of course, if they sneak over here, maybe, like this spot's not difficult terrain, but getting here might be. Climbing over these rocks, squeezing through the small space, but it's also an increased chance to not be seen. But at the same time, wading through ferns that are so tall would certainly be a potential problem. It would potentially give you away by virtue of making too much noise. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to save that. We're going to zoom into 100%. This is what our players are going to be seeing. So this is kind of stage one of these maps. And I like doing these really big maps. With the published adventure, I'm going to be breaking them up into multiple battle maps. I'm going to probably do this battle map here for outside the cave, one of just this room, or maybe this right here, and then the third one being this right here, with the notation of this little snake way going outside, just kind of being a text thing. So immediately we see the flow of the adventures. Heroes show up either down here, over here. They see the cliff. They can come from the left or the right as well. If they do good reconnaissance, they can see the path that the bandit patrols are taking out in the surrounding woods. And the surrounding woods, we can either use a default woods battle map, or we can use just a generic woods battle map that we can make in no less than 5 minutes. So they can go out and they can see that. They can either choose to ambush the guards, or they can choose to let them pass and find a way to slip through. We're going to have 2 sentries posted at the door who are designed to retreat. Even if these guys all start fighting, even if there are 2 people here, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in this area, plus maybe 8 or 9 over here. I do have a 7-player party. These 2 sentries, their only job is to turn around, run into the cave, and alert everybody saying, hey, the plan's on, the people are here, let's get ready to do this. And then all these guys are going to also try to retreat, but they're going to try to beat the heroes first. They're going to try to beat the heroes. They're going to see that the heroes are too much for them, and they're going to try to retreat. Maybe here there's a defensive position where maybe they can blow the wall, and they can collapse part of it. And if they do, and there's like a player standing here or here, or there's a player that's inside, maybe they get cut off. Maybe the player also gets captured. We don't know. That's something to think about. That's something to find out. But we have this flow of adventures. So now that they've cleared this area out, and the bandits have retreated, and they've blown the wall so that the heroes can't get into the cave, well, what do? Well, the heroes have 2 different entrances that they can go check. With a high enough perception check, they can realize that there just might be enough room to sneak a single person into one of these caves. But it would be tight. I would say that it would be very, very hard for a medium-sized creature. They'd probably have 5 feet of movement per turn to squeeze through this. If there was a small creature, however, or a familiar or something, it'd be significantly easier to get them into the tunnel. So they have this avenue, or they could try to dig through here or burst through here, which is much, much easier. Just a big strength check to pull some of the rocks out of the way. But by this point, maybe there's a ballista or something that they've put right here, or some sort of trap that they've put in the hallway, just hastily made. And all the bandits are now circulating in this area, which we're going to make next. Maybe there are some hiding in the rubble over here that are trying to get out and ambush from behind. Then there's the lady who has been taken into this room over here. And then there's the bandit leader and his lieutenant and his 2 honor guard who have been brought back here. And this is going to be the real tough fight. Because we are looking at a marathon encounter here. We're looking at 1 encounter, 2 encounter at the door, 3 encounter at the mouth here, 4 encounter in this big room, 5 encounter in here, 6 encounter in here. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of encounters for this one little area. And so we have to temper our expectations of what the players are capable of. But let's go to our objects tool here, and this could be something that if I don't find anything that I really enjoy, I very well might save this for Roll20. I am gonna go ahead and drop a ruined cart kind of off in the brush here just for flavor, because I like the way that it looks. And it wouldn't be a silent cartographer map without some grain sacks here. And so we'll say that they've this is where they've taken some of the food stores, because if you remember the whole premise of this is that they have stolen the town's source of food by raiding the farmlands. And so maybe, and by maybe I mean they have, the bandits have taken the food here. They can't eat a lot of it. They're waiting to sell the town, or they're waiting to sell the food back to the villagers, or they're waiting to give the food to the lady in exchange for part of their reward. So let's go ahead and give them a lot of food in here. And then maybe we'll do another stack of it over here. This is all grain. It's all essential medieval nutrients coming straight from the vine. And we'll give them a nice crate of apples. Not a fan of that custom color. I do wanna just use this nice brighter red, because I think that this is much more the color of apples. Although I think that's a little bit too big for a crate of apples, so maybe we'll go something like that. This definitely looks bananas to me. So make them green, because fruits are one of the Darm Republic's big exports. Maybe some melons. Just like that. And then we're going to give them some storage crates. And the reason we're going to give them some storage crates is because the bandits have supplies. Of course they have supplies. But we're also going to use this as a bit of an ex machina, because as the players are defeating the bandits, well, the bandits are going to run over to these crates and they're going to start looking for stuff. What are they going to be looking for? Grenades. Potions. Things that they've kept. So often it bothers the hell out of me that I'll see a dungeon master run a dungeon where they put all these storage crates around with the intention of the players looting those crates when they finish the encounter. Well, my question to you then is, why would the bandits not use what's in those crates while the encounter is happening? If this bottle, or if this cask here is full of alcohol, alcohol is flammable. So maybe 2 of the bandits look at each other and nod, and they run over to the barrel and they dump it out, and they suddenly, all of these squares right here are covered in alcohol. And as the barbarian charges forward, they throw a match into the alcohol, igniting the whole mixture and creating a large fire. Maybe the grain then begins to burn and the entire cavern fills with smoke, making it difficult to see because these bandits are stupid. There's so much you can do with crates and barrels. Don't remember, any rule that applies to your players will also apply to any enemy in the fight. And so in this case, the enemy in our fight is, well, the bandits. And so the bandits' loot is the bandits' loot, if that makes sense. They would not, obviously, they would not put something there without knowing it. They'd have an understanding of what that is, and they would want to use it because they don't want to die. We're also going to go back outside and we're going to drop a well. This is, I mean, I'd imagine that either they'd have a bunch of water barrels or they'd have a natural spring well. And I'm going to say that this place has a well. And so they've dug a well, they've built their camp around the well because it's just convenient to do so. But thank you for coming to my TED Talk about loot and how I absolutely cannot stand when dungeon masters, they put crates everywhere, and it's like, well, what's the point of that crate? Oh, so the heroes can loot a potion when they're done with the fight. Well, if the heroes can loot a potion, why can't the bandits? If the bandits are dying, if Jim the low-life bandit is dying, he's not going to care that his big boss said, hey, if you touch these goods, I'll kill you, because he's about to die. His boss would much rather Jim, drink the potion, survive, and kill the heroes. So he's gonna do that. He's gonna try to kill the heroes. And so we're gonna go to a broken table. Yeah, maybe we'll put a broken table in the guard room here. Cage or something. I hope there's a cage. If not, I'll add it in Roll20. But then we've got some gold, which while I'm on the ticket for gold here, I will just go ahead and make the bandit captain's area look like he's been here a while. Like he's stolen some gold from the town, from the farms. Maybe he collected taxes from them as well. Maybe he said, "Hey, if you pay, I won't take your grain." And then they paid him because of course they did. They don't want to lose their livelihood. And then he took their grain anyway. So maybe there's a logbook here, which tells how much money he took from each. That's interesting. Let me go over to my Google document here, and let me add that down because that's a very fascinating thing. I'll get to why in a second, as to why that's a very interesting thing. The bandits took a log of taxes from all the farms. They said if the farmers pay, they will be safe. Once they paid, they took the food. Anyways, and then this becomes a question of morality. If there's 1,000 gold sitting in a bag on the table, your players will probably say, hell yeah, 1,000 gold, pocket that stuff. They'll grab the gold, they'll put it in their bag, and they won't think twice of it. But what if the players are faced with the reality that this gold belongs to the people that they swore to help? Would your players have the moral wherewithal to say, this isn't our money? We know who this money is. Maybe some of those children that we met at the inn whose families had died because of these bandits were so poor because this money was taken from them. If we gave this to the children, they could lead good lives. Can we justify taking this money? And so we've added a moral conundrum to the player's D&D game. And that sucks as a player, having to think that, hey, maybe we should give up this gold. Maybe we shouldn't take this. Maybe, just maybe, we're the bad guys. Or maybe we have an opportunity here to be morally gray. And we'll add some flavor to that. We have an opportunity here to be villains or heroes, and which will we choose? And in a 7-player party, some people will vote one way, and others will vote the other way. And so it comes down to, well, what do we want to do? Do we want to be Paragon? Do we want to take this money back to the families of the people who tragically died, or maybe the people who gave up their money desperately hoping for their livelihoods to be spared? Or do we want to keep this money for ourselves? Do we not want to give this money away? You'd be surprised at how many adventuring parties will get into some really interesting stuff. We'll get into some really interesting stuff over the fact that suddenly they're being asked moral questions. Alright, so really quickly we are going to move to, a brown color for these bedrolls, and we're just going to add a couple bandit bedrolls. This is where they sleep, you know? It's not the seat of luxury. These guys have moved in here, and I mean, for bandits' sake, they probably do live very comfortable lifestyles. They've got tons of food. They've got gold. They've got a mine to themselves. And oh, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm totally gonna do? And this is gonna work so well. So these tunnels are full of crystal geodes. Crystal geodes. And these crystals are sharp. And so every time a player tries to move through these tunnels, they have to make a check. And if they don't make a check, they take 1d4 damage. And so they can't see just how far the secret tunnel goes. Secret tunnel. And so they have to make the decision, hey, do we risk taking all this damage trying to get out of the mines? And if they fail to notice the passage out, although you know maybe that's too cruel. Maybe this is an obvious passage. They can go this way, and then they just have to clear all the rubble out behind the second mine shaft. But these little annoying prickly crystals will hinder their path. And so that can be an interesting kind of little. And see, we're discovering this encounter together as I'm building it, and I absolutely adore that. This is one of my favorite parts about being a DM, is thinking logically through the encounter. Like, what would happen here? What would be the question that our players have to answer? And of course, we've got some treasure chests, because you gotta have treasure chests. Although maybe these treasure chests are not full of gold, but are instead full of the actual treasure that the bandits are hoarding. We've got some wall torches over here. And we'll just splat those on the wall. Although, and a YouTuber by the name of Lindy Beige, who's a great historical YouTuber, put together a video of why it's so stupid to light torches anywhere. The main reason being that they smoke like crazy. So if you were to light all these torches, every one of the mine would have to evacuate. But we don't have to talk about that. And then maybe this guy's got himself a real bed. It's a little bit unkempt. Has a very large bed. But he's got himself a real bed where he sleeps. Then we just got a standard table. Yeah, we've got some round tables here. We'll put one here, maybe one here. We'll grab our stools. Oh, those are still just round tables. What's the difference between these two? Oh, this one's a bit more grungy. I like that one better. Rotate it to hide the fact that we're using the same one. Round chair. I'm gonna go under. Go like this. And suddenly the bandits have somewhere to live. They have something to do. It'd be great if there were like some playing cards or something I could throw on that table. But we don't really have to make this too crazy. I was tempted to put a cannon right here, but this might actually work. A giant ballista that they have affixed. Now, the question would become, oh, no, I've just figured out the answer to that question. I have to go back to my Google Doc. They took the ballista from the fort. If you've seen the Designing an Adventure, if you've seen the Designing an Adventure shenanigans, especially the brainstorming thing, you'll see that the players, as part of their second encounter with the bandits, they're going to go to clear out a bandit fort. There's a pretty good chance that they're going to go to the fort, and this fort is ruined. However, what would you find at a ruined fort? Old war machines, and so they've got themselves something stupid. These idiots have found themselves a ballista, and they've hauled it all the way back. Oh, my dog's under my desk. Hello, Papa. They've hauled it all the way back, and we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna give them some bolts, some large bolts here, and they've devised an infinitely stupid scheme. And then what we can do to run this is that basically if they fire the ballista, it takes them 2 turns to, or how many, maybe 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So we'll say it takes 1 round to reload. It takes 1 player's action to reload, and it can't be fired consecutive turns. So somebody has to perform an action to load it, and then they have to wait a turn to load it again. And what this will allow is for the adventurers to close the gap. Allow the adventurers to close the gap. And, you know, we'll stick one right up on here. Although, yeah, maybe we'll do something like that because it's hasn't been pulled back yet. And so if the 2 door guards are allowed to escape, then this is where they go. They go and they set up the ballista. And the players will have a real pain of a time dealing with the ballista as well as a couple of ranged enemies shooting into that choke point. And so we'll let the players decide how it is that they proceed. And of course we do have the cave-in trap as well, which I mean, if somebody was unfortunate enough to get stuck on this side of it, then they would get riddled with ballista bullets, and maybe this is real nasty. Maybe there's like 2d10 damage or something. They're level 3, so that'd be pretty devastating. The only other thing I really want to do with this map is I need a cage. That much I do know. Is there like a prison tag? Pillar, obstacle, no. Thought that treasure said torture. I was like, actually might be what I'm looking for. Cage, here we are. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add a cage here, add a cage here, and the second cage is actually, you know what it's gonna be? We'll do a cage here, and then we'll do another cage here. And so here's the plan. If the players get captured, or if a player gets captured, they'll be put in this cage. The noblewoman is in this cage, and then this cage is the one with the false back that leads to the crawling space that leads to the bandit leader's camp. And so that is how that's going to be set up. I've also just now realized how small this thing is, so we're just going to go ahead and we're going to expand it a little bit. We're going to rotate it a little bit. I've just now realized it's backwards, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that. You know, maybe we'll delete it because this is a very cluttered room already, and so we don't want to add too much to it. We do want to add a chair, though. We're going to add a simple backed chair. That's huge. Shrink it down. We're going to add a chair here. And then we're going to go and save, because we haven't in a while. We're going to go to the cave brush tool that we used to make this cave, and we are going to just expand this this portal a little bit. Give it a little bit more girth, the proper term. There we go. Now we have a nice girthy hallway. And this is an area where we could put a trap. It doesn't make sense for the bandits to put a trap here because they have to come in and out all the time. They have this rig to blow, but beyond that, they're not going to put a trap here. Similarly, they wouldn't put a trap leading to the bandit leader's room. Why would you put a trap there? It would just be inconvenient. It'd be stupid. The other place that you might put a trap is the bandit leader might have trapped one of his chests. That certainly could be a place to put a trap. And then, where is somewhere that you don't want people getting to? What would benefit from keeping people out? What would benefit people being weaker when they got there? And the answer is the prisoner room. Especially a small room with only one exit. So they would definitely put a trap here. So this hallway will have a trap. And that, my friends, is definitely going to be just about it. The only thing that I really want to add that I can't really find a good way of doing, although actually maybe this is the way to do it. To do something like this, to kind of give the illusion that this is a different elevation. Although this almost looks like stairs leading up, so maybe if I reverse that, I go like, I bend it this way. Yeah, it's hard for my brain to wrap around that, like the arc of that, but I think that this will work. And so something like that, just to give the illusion that this is a lower down area. I'm gonna try for it one more time. Gonna go like that. Start here. We're gonna kind of that. Maybe we'll do one more all the way in there, just like that. That looks pretty darn good. I think that looks about what I want it to look like. So we're gonna go back to the. No, we want to look for the cave tool. We're going to click Alt to delete that, and we're going to reroute it over to here, just like that. Isn't that perfect? And so the idea is then that the bandit leader has a caged beast down in this pit that he's trapped and starved. And so the players will come in and they will be, if they do get stuck in this tunnel, they'll be funneled through this very obnoxious area with this beast in this trap. So let's try and find something. Let's try and find something. Oh, looking for. And you know, maybe what we'll do really quickly is we'll go to the scatter tool. Now that my brain's thinking on it, go to the stones, the big gnarly stones here. We're gonna go ahead and grab a whole bunch of them. We're gonna add some terrain to this area just to give the players a little bit of cover. Cover is very, very important in a fight. Places to hide, places to fight. And then we're gonna go to cage over here, and we're gonna go ahead and put, you know, we want to go to cage. Put, yeah, I'll put one of these cages down. Looks like a dog crate. And then I was hoping to find some bones or something. You know, maybe if you go under, is there anything that's like not more red, like a real crimson saturated? Yeah, that looks like blood. And that, something like that, blood splattered all over the place. That second one doesn't really look great to me, so maybe we'll do that, and we'll rotate this like that. And so whatever this beast is, it feasts on something. Maybe a bandit that is oh yeah, that's a funny idea. Maybe he fed one of the bandits he's displeased with to the is there a skeleton? There is a skeleton. So we can go ahead and we can just say, yeah, Tim the bandit got fed to the dog. And yeah, that would be that encounter. Really quickly, I do want to get rid of a right angle I see. It's very important. Cave brush, doop. Oh, doop. There we go. Just make it look a little bit less intentional. I mean, I know it's a mine, so it is a little bit intentional. But still, path of least resistance and all that. So yeah, we've got 3 unique encounters. We've got outside, we've got in here, which is the big battle. And then we've also got over here, which is the bandit boss, his beast, and the noble lady, as well as his lieutenant. We've got this secret passage here that leads to the outside, or from the outside in. And so, you know, I'll say that, I don't want to even say this. I don't like the idea of these crystals being here. You know what? Maybe the crystals won't do damage if they find this as a hidden entrance, because I don't want to punish them for finding the hidden entrance. I want to punish them for, or I want to annoy them by having them be tricked by the noble lady and then trying to escape and getting shredded on the way out. And then, of course, if they make it to the outside, the leader and the lady will be out here waiting for them because Well, she locked them in there, and there's only 2 places they let out. Oh, or you know what they might do? They might release whatever this animal is into the tunnel and have it bore its way down and try and attack. You know, I'm coming up with all the ideas today. They release the beast into the tunnel. And that way, if the beast comes back empty-handed, they know that the party's gone the other way and they will go out to meet it. I also really want to know what Blast Open does, although I think I've screwed something up by doing that. What does that mean? Oh, it deletes the wall. Oh, that's super convenient. God, I should have done that for over here. That would have solved that problem, no problem. Actually, can I? No, I can't. That's unfortunate. But that being said, that is that. I'm gonna go ahead and save this. I'm gonna go ahead and export this. This daily map will be available in the link in the description. It'll be a link to Imager, whatever you want to call it. And it is completely free to use in your private projects. Please do not sell this. Please do not monetize this. But besides that, have fun. Use this in an adventure. And if you do take this out into an adventure, let me know in the comments down below how you ran it, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, etc., etc. If you enjoyed the daily map, there's 14 others that I've created for the channel, and there will be many, many more. Anyways, I've been Jay, the Silent Cartographer. This has been day 15 of daily maps, really starting to get up there when it comes to numbers. I'm pretty proud of that, actually. And I will see you guys in the next one. Wow, it's already been an hour. All right, well then I guess we'll end it in an hour. See you tomorrow.